Okay, so this might hurt some feelings, but guess what? The black people living in the Americas are the chosen people of God.
With the light that I have now, as a white woman who leads a black-led sport and celebrated here, I want to show a light on black women. They don't get the media coverage that they deserve. They've given so much to this sport and the community and society as a whole, and their value is undeniable. In the WNBA last season, the postseason awards, 80% of the winners were black, but they got half the amount of coverage as the white athletes. So I think it's time for change. I think we should use this power together to also celebrate black women. So to Maria Taylor, Robin Roberts, Maya Moore, Odyssey Alexander, to all the incredible black women in my life, on my teams, to Breonna Taylor and all the lives lost, and to those names who have not yet learned, but I hope to share, I stand behind you and I'll continue to follow you and follow your lead and fight for you guys. So I just want to say thank you for everything.
You're saying more black people get abortion.
Yes. So I don't.
Okay, why is that, white lady? White lady, why do more black people get abortion? Because abortions are based on what? Lack of access to resources. No, because abortions disproportionately happen to impoverished people. Why are black people more impoverished than white people? Because of white supremacy. So thank you for pointing out that people that have been forced into poverty through systemic racism of the last 200 years are forced to abort their baby more because of the lack of resources to be able to raise a baby. And then you, as a white lady, use that as your talking point to take the health care away from those same women that are suffering in those same impoverished neighborhoods because you don't want to acknowledge the white supremacy behind it all. Go ahead.
She didn't have to cut me off. We were nothing. Your love should treat me like
YouTube, welcome back, welcome to all my new viewers and all my regulars to another episode of Tay Wizzle Reactions. Appreciate everybody for stopping by, showing love to the channel, showing commenting, liking, and subscribing. It really means a lot. We're on our way to 250 subscribers. If you got any clips that you want to send me, throw them in the X community. The link gonna be down in the description. And if you want to catch me live, go to twitch.tv/TayWizzleTV every day at 5 p.m. except for Saturday. Today we are reacting to white people giving black people they flowers. Now I know for some of us that sounds crazy and like taboo and impossible, never heard of. But nah, on some real, it is some good righteous white people out here. The ones that have a pure heart, that may have been raised in the struggle so they can understand and relate. Or you got the intellectual ones that know the facts and the history of the systemic racism, and they choose not to disregard it and lie about the conditions of black people and the reason why we are in those conditions, because in all actuality it'll expose blood on their hands. But man, it's 2026 and we need to be getting past racism, or at least working towards getting past it. And I believe one of the best ways to solve any problem initially is to be honest. Start telling the truth. If you were wrong, admit that. Take accountability. And that's exactly what some of these people done did in these clips. But not only have they taken accountability themselves, they're starting to gear towards convincing their peers to take accountability as well. And the reason why I feel like we need that is because maybe the ones that still stuck in their way, still can't let go of the racism, maybe they just need to hear it from somebody that look like them, somebody they might see as an equal. But let's jump into the video, and as always, if you like the content, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. But I appreciate you anyway. Let's jump into it.
So-called black brothers and sisters in this country and around the world are so mistreated, and especially in this country are so oppressed. It's because they are the true chosen people of the Most High God. They are the true Hebrew Israelites that are in another Egypt of America under a 400-year curse due to the disobedience of their forefathers, and that the Jews that we have thought, have been fooled by, are not the true chosen people. But they are what Revelations talks about as the imposters. Jewish, like something, but not the real something. But our Hebrew Israelites of today are our so-called black brothers and sisters, and that answer finally came. I wasn't
I'ma forever say this, man. God bless and shout out to the people of other races that got the courage to speak up and tell the truth. I'ma forever be grateful to y'all.
We never intended them to be anything other than a slave. But they began to grow in number and in power, and eventually they fought their way to some freedom. So we became even more cruel, and to keep our black Americans down, we lynched. But yet they rose. So then we used the welfare system, the criminal justice system, to keep them down, to contain them, to destroy them. But yet they rose, and they're rising. Then we built prisons and jails to hold them. Yet they rose. And so now we are doing exactly what the Pharaoh did at the end, sending out a decree, kill them. So until we admit that when we wrote this Constitution that all men are created equal, that we never intended to include our black brothers and sisters, our nation may end up facing exactly what the Egyptians faced when they refused to let God's people go. So I'm going to say this to my white fellow Americans, that the bloodshed that is on its way is not on the hands of our fellow black Americans, but is on our hands. We are the ones that are refusing to let God's people go. We are the ones that are refusing to acknowledge that we do not value our black brothers and sisters as equal individuals or equal Americans as us white men. And to my black brothers and sisters, the racial issues, as I've said, have been there from the very foundation. But why do we see it more? Because there's a shifting. See, us white men have been at the head since the foundation. But we've had a black president. And you know, we've done everything in our power to keep him from really changing things. Now we have another minority rising to the top, a white female. What does that say? Those of us who are white men who have been at the head are now starting to see and fear that we are going to become the tail. And we know what we've done to you. And so now we're fearful that you're going to do to us what we have done to you. But I will say this. I've lived in a black community for 23 years. I've never been treated the way that this country has treated my black Americans. So I call out my white Americans to say we better heed, repent, acknowledge.
I'm not gonna lie, I've heard that like a lot. That the reason why they really don't let up is because they so afraid that we're gonna do to them what they done to us. When I was younger, I used to think that was BS. But now that I'm older and I understand a lot more, I can see that really being probably a deep fear. But I wonder though, that racism make me wonder and believe that the spiritual warfare is real. One reason, and one reason of mine only, is because if I know this is God's people, I'm not trying to treat them no type of way. I don't want no smoke with the Creator, bro. None. So it just make me think like, bro, it gotta be like some type of evil something, bro, because like, how can you know these is, or even suspect that these is people of God, and you still do so much wrong?
You're saying more black people get abortions.
Yes. So I look
Okay,
at that.
why is that, white lady? White lady, why do more black people get abortions? Because abortions are based on what?
Don't call it
Lack
white
of access
lady.
to resources.
Because-
No, because abortions disproportionately happen to impoverished people. Why are black people more impoverished than white people? Because of white supremacy. So thank you for pointing out that people that have been forced into poverty through systemic racism of the last 200 years are forced to abort their baby more because of the lack of resources to be able to raise a baby. And then you, as a white lady, use that as your talking point to take the health care away from those same women that are suffering in those same impoverished neighborhoods because you don't want to acknowledge the white supremacy behind it all. Go
Not even gonna lie, man. That brother spoke like, bro, he got melanin in him.
Okay, so this might hurt some feelings, but guess what? The black people living in the Americas are the chosen people of God. Shalom. My name is Ronette Brooks, and before I get started, I want to say all praises to the Most High. I am a Gentile, and it is very important because I know that Israelites that are in the truth and know who they are going to be hearing my voice. This is not about me, but I do want you to know enough about me that you can know a small piece of my heart. I have known who so-called African Americans are in the United States since 2019. The Most High allowed me to know that they were the tribe of Judah. I've learned since then that it might be some Benjamites in there and some Levites, but all I want to say is I am here with a humble heart, and I am infinitely in awe because I know that I'm speaking to the light of the world, and I believe all this stuff, and I've believed it since 2019. So I want to talk about two ways that we describe blacks in this country, and I also want to say to the Israelites, I'm going to use your book. I'm not going to teach your book, but I'm going to use your book just to talk about identity. I love the word.
You are all members of the same race, the human race, which started with black women, 300,000. Don't interrupt me, I don't have much time. Now, white folks, you don't like it, but all you are is faded blacks. Every one of you, if you trace your DNA back far enough, you're going to find that some of your DNA came from Africa. Because we all have the same ancestor back there, every single one of us. And those of you who think you don't have are obviously from outer space. Now, that means that every one of us is a 30th to 50th cousin to every other person in this room. Well, every person in this room who considers himself or herself a biracial person stand. Don't you stand. Don't you stand. People, we have to get rid of the language of racism. I'm not a teacher. Teachers dispense facts and figures so that they can get their kids ready for the end of school testing. I've been called a trainer. You train dogs and horses and members of the military. I don't train people. I'm an educator. The word educator comes from the root duck deuce, which means lead, the prefix e, which means out, the suffix ate, which means the act of, and the suffix or, which means one who does. An educator is one who is engaged in the act of leading people out of ignorance. In this country, we spend a lot of money on what we call education. It isn't education, it's indoctrination.
Hey, to sum it all up in a nutshell.
Most of the stuff y'all consume is Black American culture. Most of the stuff y'all see, hear, listen to, want to wear is Black American culture. Yet y'all give white people your flowers for what? What y'all giving white people your flowers for? Like, I really don't understand it. Next time y'all say, I love the 90s style, I love the Y2K style, I love baggy clothes, Black American style. That's Black American culture. Next time y'all say, I love rock music, and y'all think of Elvis Presley. Rock music didn't start with Elvis Presley. Rock music started with Black Americans. Country music started with Black Americans. House music started with Black Americans. Techno is Black music. Hip-hop is Black music. R&B is Black music. Blues, jazz, gospel is Black music. Everything that y'all consume, most of the stuff, is Black music. People dress like Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is dressed like TLC, Da Brat, and MC Lights. But y'all don't know who that is, so the conversation doesn't even make sense. You know, like, I'm so sick and tired of people thinking Black Americans don't have culture when they are the culture. Y'all love the gift and not the giver. Y'all love everything that Black people produce, but y'all don't like Black people. Y'all love everything that Black people give you, but you don't respect Black people. Y'all love everything that Black people, it only exists because of Black people. You only exist because of Black people.
And I'm in agreement. What's your thoughts?
Just feel like the Black community, they have tried to warn all of us.
Yeah, you right. We tried to warn you, but you just didn't want to listen.
Anyone else feel extremely drained? Like, no matter how much
sleep I get. Like, I just feel tired. I feel drained. I could sleep for 8 hours and I still feel drained. I don't know what is going on anymore, but something really doesn't feel right.
Class consciousness. I'm sure you've heard the phrase a ton over the past couple of days, but let's break down what it means. It's kind of exactly what it sounds like, understanding where you fall under the current economic system and recognizing that your struggles are shared amongst all others in the same position, regardless of race, religion, gender. And it's the awareness that your personal challenges, let it be the cost of rent, student debt, low wages, they aren't personal failures, but a direct result of how society is structured. The system is actually designed so that it only benefits those at the top, while those at the bottom fight over crumbs. When we all develop class consciousness, we stop seeing ourselves as isolated and realize the power we all have together. Instead of shaming people for what they don't have, we start understanding why they don't have it and imagining something better. Historically, class consciousness has been a huge driving force for major movements of change. Think labor movements in the early 20th century, workers banding together to fight for fair wages, safer conditions, and things like the 8-hour workday that we take for granted now. Or take the civil rights movement. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't just fighting for racial equity, but also organizing to unite the working class across racial lines.
It is a crime for people to live in this rich nation and receive starvation wages.
Class consciousness shows up wherever people realize we're stronger when we organize. And it's no coincidence that historically movements like these have been met with resistance. The system does not want people waking up to their collective power.
So a lot of colored people are waking up to the realization that black folks have always been right. You guys have to know that there is more deeper spirituality in blackness. And now they are finding out, okay, because this whole thing is now glaring in their faces. Unlike before now, black people could only sense it. But now it is knocking. And they all are feeling it and now confessing on camera that black people were right.
So done with this world. It's starting to become so draining. I feel like I know too much. And I feel like I'm done trying to bring awareness to people who act like they're allergic to knowledge. Do you know when the saying goes, ignorance is bliss? It really is. The division is manufactured, the outrage is designed to keep you distracted while the agenda moves forward. And if you still think this is about left versus right, you're lost. You are completely wrong. This is about the people versus the system.
Many people don't want to acknowledge that the black community are the chosen people because, let's get deep into this, because in reality, they have the knowledge that most people don't have. Like, the only reason why people know how to farm is because of the black community. The only reason why we have the music that we have today is because of the black community. There wouldn't be no rock or metal if it wasn't for blues and jazz. There wouldn't be pop music if it wasn't for disco. There's a lot of things that they created that white people never did. White people really don't have that deep of knowledge. It's either stolen ideas or they're bought. Let's be real. What did white people really invent? You could say Tesla from Elon Musk, but he didn't make that. It was a stolen idea. If you go read what he did, he literally stole the whole business. You could say Trump, but what did Trump do? Stolen ideas, copied somebody else's ideas, just like his speeches. It's like a lot of white people just copy people. I mean, look at the dances on here. Who created those dances? The black community. And that's why this app's so boring right now, because it's not because all this stuff that's going on and the negativity. The black community literally just took their energy away. That's why this app was positive, because a lot of the white people were copying their dance move, copying this, copying that, and they stopped doing it, stopped posting on here, because none of you will give them the credit or the acknowledgement that they created that dance move or that idea. Before this land was taken, white people had no clue what the fuck to do. They were taught their language, they were taught how to farm, they were taught how to season their food that they still don't know how to do. That's another thing, seasoning. All their favorite foods, barbecuing. You love the barbecue, right? That was the black community's idea. This is why they are chosen. They have the knowledge that most people don't have. There's a possibility there is white people who are chosen, because let's face the facts. What happened during the Roman times and the slavery and all this other stuff, the black women were getting raped. So they were having their children. So there might be a bigger chance than we think that a lot of white people might have possibly a little black in them. That's why white people are jealous of them, because they know they have no creative ideas. They don't know how to cook, some of them. They don't know how to do much anything. They have to copy and paste everything the black community does because they have no ideas of their own, or they're jealous of their looks, jealous of their ding-dongs, whatever. Because their light is shining more than white people's. And honestly, the Bible says there's antichrists everywhere. The antichrist, blah, blah, blah. But white people are the antichrist. You have no Christ consciousness whatsoever. If anything, you try to erase Christ consciousness. I mean, look at all of you right now in this day and age. But yeah, none of you has Christ consciousness. Most white people are full of hate. And a lot of black people are full of love. How do I know this? Because the black community treated me better than my own race. Just face the facts right there. The black community has treated me better than the white people. Back to the Antichrist though. You have Jim Jones. You have Trump. You have a bunch of white people always saying they're trying to save the world. And they always don't. Those are Antichrist. Always white people doing it. But yeah, most of our knowledge that we know today, the music we have today, the foods we have today, is all from the black community's ideas, which is Christ consciousness, and God gave that knowledge for a reason.
I ain't gonna lie, bro, look like he about to throw up. He look like he literally sick of the bullshit.
Himself in exile in his own land. Now, have you ever wondered what that passage meant from Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech? I did, and what I found was one of the biggest secrets that's not really a secret at all, except to many African Americans, is they are not descended from Africans. I know, I was shocked too, so much so that I asked Africans, and they agreed African Americans weren't Africans. If you don't believe me, Google Arnaldus Montanus America and see the people he saw in 1671. Read books like The Black American Handbook for Survival through the 21st Century by Radine Amin-Ra. What Every African American Should Know by Carrie Davis, and Africans and Native Americans by Jack Forbes. I just can't believe schools aren't teaching this stuff. What a travesty.
Dark-skinned, woolly-haired, heavily melanated beings inhabited every square inch of the planet Earth long before the continents even shifted. So in 1492, when Christopher Columbus and his Spanish conquistador buddies came over here under the Spanish Inquisition and the doctrine of discovery and discovered a land that had already been inhabited for millions of years, that had a highly developed, highly advanced civilization already here, they found highly melanated, woolly-haired, copper-complected people, the organic to the land, original people of the Americas, with a highly developed civilization. There's actually more pyramids on this side than there is on that side. In fact, the pyramids over here are older than the ones at Giza. The pyramids over here are older than the ones at Giza.
No, Black Americans are American. They are not African. The vast majority of Black Americans living here today are American descendants of slavery. And because of this legacy of slavery, their connections to Africa are so distant and they have been severed that they do not have any real connections to it today. Nationality-wise, culture-wise, and everything else, they are American, not African. In fact, even the concept of ethnicity, their ethnicity would be Black American, not some form of African. And no, race does not make them African. Race is a social construct, and it's a pseudoscientific one at that. Not to mention, all human beings have their origins in Africa depending on how far back we go. So this entire concept of, well, we have to consider the blacks African is just racism. Black Americans are American just like I am an American. I am not a European American. I have literally no connections to Europe.
See, I played that for a reason, because for a while it's been whispers that we are not of African descent, and we are more from like native Indian descent. And I don't want to screw nobody head up, but it do make sense that that was a tactic, a form of misinformation to add to our identity crisis. Just like he said, like the people that come from like a Europe that been born here, they don't call them European American. But like I said, I don't want to convince nobody or nothing, or persuade nobody or argue with nobody. So I just do suggest people to go look up those books that they named. One was by Carrie White, Things Every African Should Know, or Black American Should Know. One was by Jack Forbes, and I can't remember the first one. When I get a chance, I'm going to read them myself.
With the light that I have now, as a white woman who leads a black-led sport and celebrated here, I want to show a light on black women. They don't get the media coverage that they deserve. They've given so much to this sport and the community and society as a whole, and their value is undeniable. And in the WNBA last season, the postseason awards, 80% of the winners were black, but they got half the amount of coverage as the white athletes. So I think it's time for change. I think we should use this power together to also celebrate black women. So to Maria Taylor, Robin Roberts, Maya Moore, Odyssey Alexander, to all the incredible black women in my life on my teams, to Breonna Taylor and all the lives lost, and to those names who have not yet learned, but I hope to share, I stand behind you, and I'll continue to follow you and follow your lead and fight for you guys. So I just want to say thank you for everything.
Just how every black person ain't the stereotype, every white person ain't racist. Shout out to all the ones that keep it real, bro, that tell the truth. We need more people like y'all out here. Honestly, if everybody would just work on themselves and just try to live more honest and righteous, I believe the world would be a better place. But maybe that's too much to ask. Hey, y'all let me know what y'all think about that down in the comments. I know it might be some people that don't agree. Well, I'm not going to say not agree, but ain't going to like what they saw or heard, of course, and unfortunately. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the video. Y'all think about them clips and people being honest in general. What's your take on white people giving the black people their flowers? We deserve it, though. If it's anybody out there that deserve it, it's definitely us. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that down in the comments. And as always, if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button so you can be notified when I drop a video or when I'm updating you on the old one. Catch me live on Twitch every day at 5 p.m. at twitch.tv/TayWizzleTV. We're on our way to 250 subscribers. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for tapping into the channel, showing me y'all love and support, commenting, liking, and subscribing. I really appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that's been tapping into the website as well. I love y'all, man. Thank you for stopping by, and I'm going to see y'all on the next video. Thank you for watching.
She didn't have to cut me off.